Hi everyone, my name is Annabelle A. Gordonas and I will be your lecturer for today in the section titled Digital and Media Platforms in 21st Century Teaching and Learning. So when coronavirus 2019 or COVID-19 struck our land, it has created a massive disruptions in various levels of education. As a matter of fact, according to UNESCO, there are around 165 countries who decided to have school closures. So all of us are actually affected from this outbreak. And it has, for me, it has actually created a bees on my bonnet, and which concerns me three things. The first one is Maslow's first before bloom, which for me, we need to have first the safety and survival of everyone, right? The next one is how do we cope up with the long-term solutions that our government need to present, to everyone so that we could be possibly guided. And the last one is the sparking of pedagogical motivations as we transition ourselves to blended learning. However, as educators, we're always guided by the principles uh, of learning that it is continuous in order for us to survive, and every child has the right to education. So we reflect and asks, how do we transition ourselves toward the new normal? Basically, we are already experiencing this type of daily routine where social distancing should be always observed in the house. In the future, when we start our daily routines in the classroom, so how do we achieve balance from all of these changes? How do we design technology supported learning in the time of COVID 19? So let me share to you ICT Integration Models, which calls for TPACK, SAMR, and Technology Integration Matrix. So this is actually introduced by the Commission on Higher Education for all teachers to be guided and demonstrating awareness on how to infuse technology in the classroom. The first one is TPACK, which stands for Technological Pedagogical Content Knowledge, which attempts to identify the nature of knowledge required by teachers for technology integration in their teaching while addressing the complex, multifaceted, and situated nature of teacher knowledge. So it answers the question, how will you integrate pedagogy, content, and technology at the same time? Okay? That's why TPACK stands for this one, the CK for content knowledge, PK for pedagogical knowledge, TK technological knowledge, and so on and so forth. So let me give you the two facets of learners today, or maybe the two facets of how teachers are behaving differently. There are teachers who prefer to talk in person, to do classes face to face, while other teachers are already digital natives. I mean, they do have their gadgets, they multitask, they're extremely social, they are multimedia oriented. And the same with our students who are always bringing their cell phones in the classroom. They're advancing their levels of knowledge because they're always on the go and researching and exploring. And what are we going to do, my dear teachers? How are we going to survive in this education 4.0? So let me share this with you on how to integrate our subjects. The first one is for a TVL and TLA subject, where a teacher may integrate the lesson uh, using the PCK model of TPACK. Cook a Filipino dish, develop a schematic diagram, and evaluate using a given rubric. So if you have observed, the PCK integration is there. However, the teacher would like to infuse technology. So here it goes. Perform a Filipino dish using a localized ingredient by groups, Using the procedures in the schematic diagram, create a tutorial multimedia and present during the discussion. So if you have observed, the teacher is already infusing or displaying the use of technology integration used by means of creating a tutorial multimedia. The next one is for the social sciences subject, the PCK integration, for example, group students and ask them to create symbolic representations of sustainable development goals or the global goals in relation to Philippines context. So TPCK facilitate the production of an infographic in symbolic representation of sustainable development goals. So if you have observed, the use of infographic has been noted as part of the technology integration. The next model is SAMR, which means substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition model, which is designed to help educators infuse and reinforce technology into teaching and learning. So you may use the analogy of a coffee by ordering a basic variety and then moving on to another cup of coffee, another variety of a coffee, until you're heading off to another mellifluous kind of a variety. So in the same with that of technology. Now let me give you an example of how you do that in your own classroom routine. Writing a short paper. So the original assignment is a handwritten paper. So for the substitution, a word processor replaces a pen, pencil, and writing assignment. Augmentation, a word processor and text-to-speech function are used to improve the writing process. The text-to-speech function could be accessed in your Android cell phone. Just click the setting and go for accessibility and just try to explore because it's there already. Modification, the document created using the word processor and text-to-speech function is shared on the blog where feedback can be received and incorporated to help improve the quality of writing. And redefinition, where instead of a written assignment, students convey analytic thought using multimedia tools. So another one is for an art or painting class. Okay, original assignment: draw a picture using traditional brush. Now, if the teacher would like to use the SAMR for the substitution, use a digital drawing or painting program like MS Paint, which is actually built in our own computer, right? Augmentation, use a tool that allows the creation of your master piece to be played back, like the Edu Creations. Modification, pull a background image to use a canvas. And redefinition, create artwork collaborative using a collaborative online whiteboard like the Tweedla. Okay, so if you have observed the teacher is navigating from the basic use of tools to that of highly augmented application. Okay. And the last one is technology integration matrix, which was developed to help guide the complex task of evaluating technology integration in the classroom. So it is anchored into 5 interdependent characteristics of meaningful learning environments. The first one is active, collaborative, constructive, authentic, and goal-directed. So if you have observed, it caters the K to 12 principle that the curriculum shall be constructivist. It should be pedagogical, reflective, and other things, right? So this could be a great tool or model for your lesson. So my dear teachers, when you are involved in a blended learning delivery mode, the flexible learning activities are actually there, okay, where the teachers are designing lessons. Of course, they are guided by the curriculum guides the schools are providing, and when they produce and design the materials like the modules, the syllabi, the quizzes or assessments, the students may access these materials in their own time, place, and pace of study. Now, when we do the flexible learning activities, it actually cater into several elements or examples. It could be face to face, which basically for now you could not do that. But with websites or interactive content like chat rooms, I guess one famous chat room that I have used now is called Slack. Okay, later on I'll be sharing you what Slack is. We also have discussion boards, CD rooms or hard drives, broadcast video, teleconferencing or video conferencing, and so on and so forth. You can use these particular types of uh, flexible learning activities so that your students may be able to achieve the learning competencies that they need to acquire, especially in the time of COVID-19. So, how do we assess in an online environment? Well, I guess you're familiar with diagnostic, formative, and summative assessments, right? And when we do conduct assessments online, it's different already because we are testing our students' audio through portfolio and video types. So we should always be guided by the principles that how do I cope up with this great challenge? What do teachers need to do in order to demonstrate that they have met the learning objectives? When we are transitioning ourselves to an alternative delivery mode, never forget the keywords synchronous versus asynchronous learning. Now, what do you think is the difference of the two? So, when I say synchronous learning, it involves online studies that are conducted with the aid of chat rooms, meaning it's live, it is done in real time, where the teacher and the students are communicating online. That's why it's called synchronous. Okay. The next one is asynchronous learning, which is a method which can be carried out online and offline. Asynchronous learning involves coursework delivered by web through an email and message boards that are posted in online forums. So at any time of the day, in their own place, pace, and time of study, the student can access the material. So that's the difference of the two. Now, the question there or the issue there here is the liberating new world of open educational resources, where education is sharing. If you have explored on the in the internet, you can see heaps of materials, no? And it's free and open. So it comes from the idea of open educational resources, where materials are um, free with open license. So what is open educational resources or OERs? It refers to materials that are offered freely and openly to adapt and use for teaching, learning, development, and research. So it means free and legal with an open license. So these are actually materials like books or ebooks, syllabi, assessments, videos, pedagogical practices, and many other things that you can download from OERs. Okay, so from OER Commons, there are teaching and learning materials that are freely available online for everyone to use, whether you are an instructor, student, or self-learner. Now, who is involved? So let me give you examples of OER providers who are actually part of our system. We might know that their programs are actually part of our system already, right? Like the OER Commons. I hear the DEP has been embracing the use of Commons. So that's an example of an open educational resources. We also have here California OER Council, Open Textbooks, and many other OER providers. These are also example of the Creative Commons licensed works that we can discover and explore via the internet while we are on the verge of the coronavirus pandemic outbreak, right? And never forget e-learning, where your students can communicate asynchronously, right? They can You can let them enroll in a certain learning management system, and you can let them enjoy the lesson, open the lesson, and participate in the online discussion, or maybe it depends on you. However, OER serve uh, advantages. No, the first one is scalability, meaning it can be accessed at any time, anywhere. So there is no cost as long as you have the Wi-Fi and free internet connection. Expanded access because everyone have the rights or the ability to um, accessibility as regards OERs. The next one is augmentation of class materials because everything is there, ranging from the syllabi that you are looking for a particular subject to different assessment types, different learning content materials that you would like to infuse in your lessons. The next one is enhancement of course content. We are aware that every day is a learning process, right? And the same with the course contents that are provided via the OER. So the program developers of these companies are actually changing the materials every now and then in order to answer what's the latest trends and issues as regards the current education system. The next one is the quick circulation, because it's unlike with the books, it takes months and years to finally have a certain book, but with OERs, it's quite fast. Okay. The next one is less expense for students because they didn't need to buy books or any hard copy materials for them to access the lessons. With just an internet and a computer, they are going to uh, open these materials. Showcase of innovation and talent because a majority of the program developers have been showcasing a variety of materials to be offered to the public. So it's one thing to also imbibe their own creativity. Next one is ties for alumni. They get to um, involve themselves to the new trends of their particular universities that they come from or they graduate actually. And the next one is continually improve resources because the curriculum has been noted as changing, right? So that's one of the advantages of OER. However, it also serves disadvantages. The first one is quality issues because anyone could post, anyone could um, modify and enhance a particular OER. So we're questioning here on how a particular teacher has been establishing the mantra of quality uh, culture. The next one is language and or cultural barriers because 90% of the OERs are actually English related materials, which means that there are other countries who are not using English as their medium of instruction, so it could be one of the problems. Third one is technological issues where the Wi-Fi signal is erratic and some students do not have computers and do not have access to Wi-Fi connection, right? The fourth one is intellectual property and copyright concerns and sustainability issues. So this is an example of an OER, the OER provider, University of California. Just try to open this particular website, and you can have new resources for this one. The next one is Coursera, or we also have here edX, which is actually powered by the Massachusetts Institute of Technology. The next one is NovoEd, Open Study, Audacity, Canvas, Diversity, and Future Learn. Some of these platforms are familiar to me because I've been enrolling their courses like the Canvas, Coursera, edX, and Future Learn. So why not also try these heaps of materials for you to also learn new courses, especially, for example, if you're teaching English. So there are actually several courses that are offered for free, like the teaching grammar communicatively, teaching English with technology. So it depends on you what particular type online course will you be enrolling? We also have open course software like the MIT or Massachusetts Institute of Technology, where they offer a variety of courses. For example, this one like peanut butter and jelly. So if you are a TVLTL teacher and your specialization is cookery, so why not try to also open this particular courseware, right? The next one is for mathematics teacher. MIT has been offering OERs for your information. It just depends on what particular featured courses will you be enrolling. Okay, so if I were you, please try to do. So this is an example of the dashboard that you will be answering and catering, in order to pass and maybe get a certificate after you finish the course. What's beautiful with in enrolling these courses that you get to get badges and certificates. For now, I have already 5 badges and 10 certificates online. I'm very happy because aside from these perks, I was able to advance my knowledge as regards different topics, relating to my subjects taught in the university that I am actually connected with now. Siavula is an OER which provides free textbooks for K to 12. However, they have also textbooks which are not for free. So please try to also open this platform or OER. Orange, which is an open resources for English language teaching. Um, they have learning modules which caters for macro skills in listening, writing, speaking, and reading. So if you want to grab this opportunity, just type a route in your computer and please try to enroll yourself for this course. We also have Coursera, where they do have a variety of OERs like the University of Illinois, Stanford, UC San Diego, John Hopkins University, which is quite famous now in the course of COVID-19 because it's one of the credible organizations has been giving statistics as regards COVID-19, right? So suit yourselves, my dear teachers. We do have the popular courses that you may enroll, like the machine learning if you're teaching welding in your school. Why not try this one? Okay, so just type what particular course would you like to enroll. Another one is in the Philippines. We already have OERs. One famous university is University of the Philippines. It's called Massive Open Distance E-Learning. If you want to enroll, just type this search or URL, and they're going to present models of massive open online course that you would like or you can take actually. So why not try? Because I've been doing it several times already and I'm sharing this to you. Okay, so my dear teachers, these are examples of learner management system that you can choose from, explore, and discover because some of these are actually, all of these are free, naturally, but you need to have a Wi-Fi. Okay, I've been using Canvas, Class Dojo, Inmodo, and Schoology. For 3 years, I've been using Schoology, and it's quite effective. So later on, I'll be teaching you how to use Schoology in the classroom. So let me share with you the various digital and media platforms for you to enjoy as you transition yourself to blended learning. The first one is webinar, which is quite famous nowadays. I've been seeing my friends in Facebook who are using the Zoom or the Facebook Live digital apps via teleconference or video conference, right? So when you say webinar, there is a need for a host, like one person who shall facilitate the meeting and attendees or participants who shall be part of this meeting. So in the course of COVID-19, I guess Zoom is quite famous, but it's controversial. Just try to check the veracity whether you are going to involve in this uh, app, but actually it's quite effective and quite nice. I'm just wondering because it has created a certain controversy. So let me share with you how to conduct an online class using Zoom. Of course, you need to sign up and it's for free. Step one, go to this search engine, zoom.us, sign up, select an account, and that, of course, it's for free. But if you have money, then you can buy your own program, right? So sign in with your credentials, click on schedule a new meeting, yan. And then fill in details for your class session. So you're going to fill in this one and create a class, okay? So share the join URL with your audience. So just copy and paste that one and share it with your students or your colleagues. Now, if you want to also download this, you may try and run it to your personal computer, save it to a folder, and then there you go. This is an example of my Zoom class when I attended an International Korea TESOL conference last day. Okay? This was the announcement of the secretariat of that particular event. So it's quite a great tool for me, to also how to make directions whenever you would like to set up a meeting in Zoom. Okay, so these are my co-TESOL participants that day. I was able to meet an American who is teaching in UK, a teacher from Hong Kong, and there you go. I am a Philippine represent. Okay, it's quite enjoyable because you get to see and meet new friends, new teachers who are teaching language internationally. Now, let me share with you some webinar software platforms for your reference if you'd like to uh, explore more. Would you have S Talks webinar, Zoom, Skype, Click Meeting, Facebook Live, etc. So please see for yourself, my dear teachers, if what particular platform will you be using, and always go for free because it's nice to also top up with your budget this time, right? One of the things also which is crucial in the making of your assessments online is foodcasting. Okay, it's where you communicate with your students through an audio material. For example, you're going to present one lesson, so you can do this through a podcast. Okay, this is downloadable for free as long as you have the internet connection, and you can also download materials from the podcast. Okay, these are actually example of the audio materials or applications that you can download and try to record materials for your students' assessment. It's for free as long as you have the Wi-Fi connection. This is one example of a Spotify classroom assessment when I was enrolled in a certain online distance education where my trainer or course developer gave his or her lecture via Spotify. So it's quite, I mean, I like the environment because it's quite clear. The voice is audible and it can clearly decode what the speaker is or the teacher is explaining. So please try Spotify. The next one is the learner management system that I was mentioning you a while ago. If you want to try this, you can do this via www.schoology.com. It's like a virtual classroom where you may create a course and you may enroll your students. What you need is just to give them the code and bingo. You need not type individually their names because the moment your students will be able to access the code, you can already get the names. It's the job of the computer, that program. So it's a website and an app that you and your students can utilize to share information, resources, and files. It is a learning management system designed to provide a digital medium to enhance classroom interactions and support web page and content creation as well as collaboration. So this is an example of the dashboard of my school, my Schoology, from my students' Schoology pala. Okay, so It's my name, right? When I announce one particular announcement in, it's like actually a Facebook. You have courses, groups, resources, grades. Okay. It's also have notifications and personal message buttons. So the features of Schoology allows the teacher to set up threaded discussion, which allow for easier response and organizations. We also have the flexible instructional tools, which allows the teacher to easily differentiate instruction for students or different abilities. So we have here an example of my Schoology platform. Um, this is my profile. And if you would like to make one, you can also have this, but be sure to have a picture so that your students will have the feeling of being there. You're there when you are discussing or giving the lesson to them. So these are the courses. If you want to make a course, it's just type courses, this one. And then I've been using this for 3 years, so I have heaps of courses. So when you make my another course, just click this one. Or if you want to enroll in a course, just click this one, and a certain button like join a course will come out. Okay. So if you want to have a group chat with your students, just type or press this and resources. And if you want to message your students individually, you can also have that button. Okay. So this is an example where you are going to create a course. The timeline of the Schoology, if you'd like to present something or maybe tell something or announce an important thing for your students. Now, this is one example of the Schoology course that I was enrolled, and this is a sample material because in Schoology you can upload materials, the quizzes, assignments, exams. Okay. We also have here the grades where you can monitor the grades of your students, the attendance, and etc. That's the beauty of Schoology. Just like there's also an avenue where you can make class records. Okay, so we do have here example of formative assessment tools that you can use. Kahoot, I guess you're familiar with this one. It's a game, and I have been using it several times, and it has a fun-filled learning experience, for my students, and they liked it. The poll everywhere, Socrative, Mentimeter. If you're a speaker or teacher, if you're conducting a LAC session, you can use Mentimeter. This is to get the polls or the statistics of your participants' views and opinions. Okay. Next, we do have the Peer Deck, Edpuzzle, Quizlet, Google Forms, and SurveyMonkey. We also have the 25 of the best math resources for 2020. My dear teachers, for teaching mathematics, you can try to explore on this, but I've been using TeachThought actually, and it's quite impressive. The materials are on point, so please try to open these materials. We also have 20 of the best free science apps for iOS, so please try to discover or explore on these. We do have Google Science Journal, edX, TED, Bio Incorporated, and many more. So if you're a science teacher who have been teaching elements and other important and notable science subjects, so please try to open these apps for you. If you have a Wi-Fi connection, it's easy for you to discover and explore these materials. And for math and science, this is an additional information where you can also use these materials. As we transition ourselves to blended learning program, please try to use this because they're actually for free as long as you have the Wi-Fi connection. And for teachers who have been teaching students with disabilities, I have here some tools for you to use. I hope you will find time to reinforce and use this particular gadgets and applications so that your teaching and learning experience will be fun-filled and enjoyable. Next is Powtoon. If you want to make a video from, for example, if it's a 10 PowerPoint slide and you want to import it and make it a video, you can actually do that through this platform. Just type it, and it's for free. However, since it has designed advanced features and other creative uh, materials, so you need to pay. But there are other features which are for free and you can get to explore on. So it's quite beautiful, and I like the way how I was able to explore in this particular application. Um, there are actually heaps of Powtoon videos via the YouTube. So if you want to make your own and have it personalized, like you want to make a video for your mother is having a birthday, you can also use this app. So Kahoot is a gamification type of an app where a variety of topics could be downloaded. It's up to you. For example, your topic is about uh, bullying. So a handmade, I mean, there are already several videos for free that you can use for your game. Okay, so just type this particular search engine. So Mentimeter. So again, when you're speaking in various participants or audience, you can use this in order to measure their uh, their pulse, no, their opinions, their ideas on a certain topic. Genial.ly, so I guess you're always doing some PowerPoints in your classroom. Now, if you want to have it or to navigate into a highly more advanced and more creative ways of presentation, you can type genial.ly, okay, in your search engine, and it's for free actually. However, the same with Powtoon, some of the materials or features are not for free. So Genial.ly is a free web tool used to create easy to use and interactive visual content. It can be used to enhance presentations, infographics, reports, posters, or guides. So this is an example of how you are going to explore on Genial.ly. Okay. The next one is TED. I guess you're always doing or using this one in your own classroom routines. We get to have this because a majority of these platforms are shared and done through videos, and we are inspired by how this particular organization has been introducing famous or even non-famous speakers or giving worth sharing inspiring life lessons, right? So it's an opportunity for us to explore and get to know some topics which might be of use in our daily lesson, and let our students explore that, listen and watch the videos that we will be presenting, right? So I have here an example of a TED video that you can introduce to your lesson. Okay.
The world makes you something that you're not. But you know inside what you are. And that question burns in your heart. How will you become that? I may be someone unique in this, but I am not alone. Not alone at all.
Okay, I'm sorry for that interruption because that's sometimes the downside when you insert a video in your PowerPoint presentation. So I apologize for that, my dear participants. But I've been enrolling myself into different courses, and I have seen that some of my teachers were using videos. So I hope you can get the chance to also explore TED, although I'm sure that a majority of you are already using that one in your own context. We also have one app wherein you can also make a video and edit it, and you can share it with your friends. It's called Viva Video, right? So you can edit photos and videos. You can also choose a multiple tool of making it more beautiful and interactive. You can also adjust the speed and other multitude creative effects that you can calibrate in your videos. So from this, you can let your students enjoy and have a versatile range of college templates or collage templates from this particular app. Okay, so be sure that when you record the videos, look at these tips that I have provided for you or for you. First is you need to set up a location or room. Be sure that that it's noise free. Okay, the background or the backdrop is quite impeccable. There is adequate lighting, high quality camera phone, some or the sound quality. You can also use microphone for that. For the software, you can use PowerPoint, of course, the OBS Studio with a talking head for the video, the MS Movie Maker, iMac Movie for Mac editing, Handbrake, where if you have a long video, you can actually make it shorter. And the last one is Audacity, in which you can edit the sound. Okay. So Class Dojo, this is also another example of the learning management system. Same with that of Schoology. So you can also try this one out because it creates and provides multitude of materials and assessment guides for teachers and students. We also have Khan Academy, where a diversified materials are also can be catered. We do have various subjects that you can rely upon. Just depends on you. What type of material will you be choosing and you think will be appropriate to your lecture? So yeah. The next one is Haiku Deck. If you're teaching poems and you would like to embrace digital image, so you can introduce this one to your students. The Duolingo. If you want to let your students learn other languages, so you can let them download this app, the Duolingo. Tinker Card. This is actually made for a 3D innovation. So if you're teaching engineering and other relative courses, you can let your students experience this once in a lifetime 3D experience. The Evernote, this is for note taking. So I am actually using this and it's quite effective for me. So why not also introduce this one to your student if it's necessary. The next one is an interactive whiteboard where you can present beautifully and interactively through an online presentation or whiteboard presentation that's explain everything. The MindMeister, which is an app where you can solidify your concept mapping expertise and let your students experience and design their own concept map experience. Try to also explore this one. And the next one is the ZipGrade. This is a tool where you can download and install the free app on your device, open the app on your mobile device. You can actually select quizzes, Through this platform, you can check a 100 uh, type of questions. For example, you have 50 or 100 students. It's very easy to check it. Maybe in 20 minutes you'll be done. You'll be finished already because it's quite amazing. Okay, so you just key in your quizzes, the key to correction, but it's quite limited because it's for free for the first time. But I don't know because I have not checked if how many times we'll be using this for free. But I've been using this several times already for free. But there's also avenue where you need to pay for the price. Okay, so this is a great tool where teachers are seems bombarded with heaps of classroom routines and activities. So like to make it more, to make it easier and more accessible for you, so you can also indulge in this type of platform. Um, this is the scansion paper, which is downloadable, provided by the Z grade, where the four dots represent the way how you are going to put the paper in a flat surface, and when you scan it through your cell phone, it's actually colored green. So it can already detect the answers of your student. Okay, so I'm urging you to please download Zigray because it's a great opportunity for you to lessen your burden in the class routines that you usually do every day. So my big question here is Philippine education system in 2020. Are we moving forward? I guess, of course, with such outbreak that we are experiencing nowadays, I hope we remain positive and always on the go in achieving the eminent culture of excellence as regards our duty to instruction, right? It is our duty to always give the best for our students. So we innovate. For example, we enroll online courses. We try to get to know the various digital and media platforms because this could be a great tool for us to do our modular classes online, especially if you're teaching in college. But in high schools, I guess and elementary teachers, you are guided by the DepEd. Where are we going, my dear teachers? Are you happy? But let me share to you the experience of the DOST, who's been very active in helping the Filipino youth. Okay, they have actually new programs as regards digital innovations, as regards human security, research and development. They're on to strengthening our human resource and manpower. We have space technology and ICT development, S&T for creative industries, tourism industry, and services industry. We do have the artificial intelligence as one of their new programs. They're also offering scholarships for teachers who would like to invest in a master's degree course or courses. So let me share with you some of the experiences that they're sharing in various localities and communities. Okay. And as a matter of fact, they have been producing courseware and mobile applications for the Filipino youth. They're also awarding some schools for a 21st century model classroom where it has produced or it is catered highly augmented types of materials and resources in the classroom. So we're thinking about pedagogy in an unfolding pandemic. So I guess this is the best time for us to educate ourselves and be positive and be resilient from the different challenges that we face every day. As educators, no one will do it for us. It's all about us and our students. So let me share to you the life of Malala Yousafzai, who comes from Pakistan, at an early age, she was able to see how the Taliban's were abusing and exploiting the children in their community. Children there have no access to education, and so thus Malala was able to make a blog, and she shared it by a certain international news agency, and it created a massive impact around the globe. That's why he was actually given the Nobel Prize in 2014. However, one day Malala Yousafzai was boarding in a bus with her three friends, and she was shot in the head. Luckily and fortunately, she was able to survive that big tribulation, and even until now, she's still uh, exploring or maybe sharing how the Taliban's are doing and giving some bad influ- influences in their communities. So that is why it takes a lot of courage for us to be able to take and effect change. Teachers, we should be the change that we wish to see the world, right? So let's add compassion to our online courses as we transition ourselves. You don't have to build a chapter for your students to fall through. It's your job to point out that there is a hole in the floor. So the pursuit of Philippine education transcends as being a sporadic community with a steadier, innovative, and sustainable presence. Let us solidify and this dense feeling of belongingness and connection and the massive effort for our quality assurance and innovation undertakings. I hope you have learned something big today, and let us all join together as we continue to effect change within ourselves and the whole world. Because if we teach today's students as we taught yesterday, we rob them of tomorrow. Thank you so much. Kudos and mabuhay.